I was hauling a late-night delivery through the bleak, wind-swept plains of western Nebraska. Just miles and miles of endless, soul-crushing flatland. Cornfields stretched out like rows of brittle teeth under a pitch-black sky, and not a single light broke the darkness except for the faint red glow of my dashboard. Isolation hung heavy in the air, the kind that gets into your bones and makes you feel like the last living soul on Earth. Somewhere past midnight, with my eyes burning and my nerves fraying from the monotony, I spotted a faded green highway sign. Exit 21. I needed caffeine badly. I took the exit without thinking, following a narrow, cracked access road that led to what looked like a forgotten relic from another decade. A truck stop squatted there under a dying canopy of lights, its metal roof rusted and sagging. The old neon sign above the door blinked erratically, glowing blood red against the thick darkness. It was supposed to say open, but the O was long dead, so it just flashed pen over and over like a half-buried warning no one had bothered to heed. The parking lot was nearly empty. My tires crunched over scattered gravel and patches of ice that hadn't melted in days. I parked beneath a flickering street lamp that buzzed like it was trying to scream. The night felt heavier there, thicker, like stepping into a place that didn't quite exist on any map. Inside, the place was stuck in time. Faded yellow linoleum floors curled at the edges, and the air reeked of stale grease, mildew and despair. Fluorescent lights buzzed and hummed overhead, casting a sickly green tint on the empty booths and dusty candy racks. Behind a scratched and smudged wall of bulletproof glass, a lone clerk sat half asleep, his mouth slack and a crumpled old magazine draped over his lap. He didn't even glance up as I walked past. I poured myself a coffee from a pot that looked older than my truck. It smelled burned, bitter and strangely metallic. I didn't care, I just needed something to keep me from dozing off behind the wheel. I paid in crumpled bills, nodded to the comatose clerk and made my way back out into the cold. That's when I saw it, the fog. It hadn't been there a minute ago, but now it was everywhere, dense, heavy, wrong. It crept across the asphalt like spilled smoke from some unseen fire, curling around my tires and coiling up toward my windshield like fingers made of mist. It was too thick to be natural, too fast to be weather. It was alive. The temperature dropped so suddenly I could hear the frost crackling as it formed across the truck's windows. My breath fogged in the air like smoke, and my fingers went numb around the coffee cup. Then came the sound, not the wind, not an engine. Something else, breathing slow, wet, guttural, heavy enough that I felt it in my chest before I heard it in my ears. It didn't come from behind me or in front of me, it came from everywhere, and it was close. The kind of breath that comes from something massive, something unnatural. I turned and reached for the door handle, my pulse spiking with the kind of primal panic that bypasses logic and screams, "Run!" But the door wouldn't budge. It was locked. I hadn't locked it. My throat tightened, my heart pounded against my ribs like it was trying to escape. My ears popped like pressure was building all around me. Then through the fog, a shape began to take form, just beyond the edge of the truck. At first, it looked like a man. But then it moved. Its arms were grotesquely long, dragging low at its sides, jointed in ways no human body should be. Its legs bent backward at the knee like some hellish insect, each step clicking with bone-snapping tension. It was tall, unnaturally tall, and its face, God, its face, if you could even call it that. There were no eyes, no nose, just a vertical gaping slit running from its scalp to the base of its throat. The flesh peeled back like some horrible zipper, revealing rows upon rows of jagged yellow teeth, gnashing in rhythmic anticipation. Its skin was grey, like dried clay stretched too thin, and across its forehead pulsed a glowing vein-like streak of dull red light that throbbed in sync with its breath. It stopped inches from the driver's side window, its head tilted slowly. Then it leaned in and exhaled. A hiss of black tar-coloured fog poured from its mouth and coiled across the glass like acid smoke. Where it touched, the frost melted in rivulets, revealing that terrible moor behind the mist. Then it spoke. Its voice wasn't a whisper, it was a pressure. A sound that crawled inside my skull and squirmed. You never told them what you did. We haven't forgotten. I don't remember turning the key. I don't remember shifting into gear, but the next thing I knew, the engine was roaring and I was peeling out of that cursed lot. Tires screaming against asphalt, slick with fog. I drove blind for miles, the fog trailing me like a predator that hadn't decided whether to finish the hunt. I didn't stop, not once, not until I crossed the state line. Later I reported what happened, told dispatch, told the company, told anyone who'd listen. No one believed me, said I must have nodded off behind the wheel, said I imagined it. Even a local sheriff went to check it out. He called back an hour later, said the truck stop at exit 21 had burned down over a decade ago. So I ask you, what the hell did I pull into? Have you ever been visited? Share your story in the comments. Maybe we can find answers together. Maybe you're not as alone as you think. And whatever you do, don't ignore them. It's worse if you pretend they aren't real. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe and follow us for more bone-chilling chronicles. Join us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky for more if you dare.